Okay, so I tried to just skip this part and put and just record myself on my YouTube channel because nobody really knows about it, and I don't like writing my journals as much as I used to, even though I still do. They're so screwed up. I don't know if I'll ever get them back in order, and I don't even know if I even still have all of them. But my daughter and I were just talking about, we both feel the same way about animals and the treatment of animals and eating them, breeding them for pets, factory farming, experimenting on them to make medical advances for human beings. I remember, I don't know, it was a few years ago, the University of Washington had several baboons in captivity. There are, I don't know how many, but in the US, there are places that provide primates to these laboratories. They breed all these different types of monkeys and apes, and then they do horrible things to them, supposedly for the betterment of mankind. Man is not kind. I don't know where mankind, that word came from. But the University of Washington had several baboons in captivity, and they died of dehydration. And the spokesman, it got out, and the spokesman came out on television, on the news, and said it was an accident. There was a miscommunication, and nobody knew whose responsibility it was to give them water. What? Whose responsibility it was to give them water? Unbelievable. See? There's nothing fair about testing animals. And if anybody read my little rant on Facebook, it said Death Row Petco. Because Petco sells birds and small rodents, and they sell little starter kits. And they sell these birds, these little birds, parakeets and what have you, to children. I kind of wondered, I wonder what the percentage of those parakeets in 1 month that are bought for these spoiled little children live the first month. I wonder if the child realizes that it's their responsibility to give the bird water. I mean, the scientists at the University of Washington don't even know whose responsibility it is to give the animals that they have trapped there water. Why does it need to be somebody's responsibility? If they need water, it's okay. Anybody can give them water. I mean, that's an excuse for what they did. And nobody went to jail for cruelty to animals. And what did they do? Just order another 6-pack of baboons from one of the primate breeding centers in the US. Yeah. Oh well, you know, these things happen, but you know, they have to do this. I mean, it's for people. People are so important that it doesn't, no other living thing is, it doesn't matter as long as it's good for people. I say we put all these people who couldn't figure out whose responsibility it was to give these baboons water and put them into the, it was probably some sort of like holding tank, like down at the fucking jail on 5th and James, King County Jail, that these baboons were kept in. With a window you could look in and see them. Yeah, all these people who just couldn't figure out whose responsibility it was. I think they should go sit in there and think about it for about at least a week, however long it takes them to die of dehydration. Okay? Yeah. Then maybe, if they still keep getting these primates to do God knows what, I don't even want to know, maybe they'll think about, we ought to water those. We ought to give them water. Otherwise, we might end up in there with no water. I would gladly take the people who are so calloused that they would let such a thing happen. The people responsible for that, I would gladly put them in a cage and let them sit there until they die of dehydration. I also saw a man on television take the head off of one monkey and put it on another monkey that they had taken the head off of course, they were both alive. But the one that had the head transplant, he wasn't alive. But the head that was attached to the body of the monkey they sacrificed to do this experiment, which has no value whatsoever, that monkey's head lived for several days, and it could see and hear, and I mean, I can see people, anybody, thinking up some pretty fucked up shit. I mean, thinking about it. But to actually do it, there's no excuse. None. I don't care. I don't care if it's to help people. You know, we our lives are important to us, and every other living creature on earth, their life is important to them. So if people need to do experiments to see if they can help people, then do the experiments on people, not animals. Duh. I swear to God, if I could get away with it, I would blow that fucking place up with one of those bombs that would just vaporize it, the whole thing, and everybody in it. Ugh. I am not a human being.